Nik Cox, one of the youngsters who's delighted Essendon fans this year.
So impressive, this man. We marvelled at his athleticism all year. Look at the athleticism in Cox. He can go on the non-preferred. 200 centimetres, you can't do that.
Hey Bombers fans, Dev Smith here. We're lucky enough to be talking to our debutants in this season. It's all thanks to House of Marley, who've been a great sponsor of our footy club. Nik Cox, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Dev. Thank you for having me.
Hopefully he gives me plenty of chat in the locker room, so hopefully today's not too shy. So Nick, what prepared you for your first AFL game this year?
It was a pretty long process. Obviously didn't have much footy last year. I was lucky enough to have my uncle Bernie taking me for runs all throughout the year at Willinda Park in Greensborough, so I got hammered through that. I think that helped me with my running. You know, AFL standard now, you need to be a good runner to keep up with games, so I think that helped prepare me. And then played a couple of practice games and obviously had all the pre-season too, so it's funny, in the lead up, Chuck messaged me saying after the Geelong game that we had down at GMHBA, he said, like, well done, now prepare for the Hawks. And I didn't know if he meant that I was playing or he was just saying Hawks in general because both teams were playing. So that was an interesting process. It took me another sort of week to figure out that I was actually playing, which was interesting. I was sort of on edge, but no, it was a great experience.
In the end, Cox lost his feet, got it again quickly, fed the handball to McDonald, Tippenwoody. Little kick, really good to Dylan Shield.
It's a nice pick up, Mitcho, isn't it? At that height, yeah, you can just see how he's capable of playing wind to move that well.
So if we take a step back, can you just run through, so your draft year, what that year looked like? It was obviously a lot different to juniors that get to play the whole year, through the carnival, through their local club, through their school club, whatever it might be. For you, how many games did you actually play in your draft year?
Didn't play any. Well, we had one practice game where I played one quarter. Then they took me off. They didn't want me to do any injury or anything. So, you know, I would have liked to have played that full game. But yeah, it was an interesting one. I was looking to go into a great year at the Northern Knights. We had a great squad. I was lucky enough to be named a co-captain with Ewan McPherson. And we're playing some really good footy. And unfortunately, obviously, COVID came in. And being sort of junior competition that we are, obviously can't relocate like the AFL, doesn't have that funding or anything like that. So basically got stuck at home, you know, all the lockdowns we went through, and all I could do was try and put some weight on, try and improve my running. I had my eyes set on the combine, and everything was towards that, trying to get a good score in my 2K and all that. So an interesting year. You know, looking back in hindsight, it's got me to where I am now. I can't complain. Got no regrets about how the way I handled it. I think it all went pretty well.
Yeah, selfishly, I think we're pretty lucky to have you. I reckon maybe if you had played the year, you could have went high in the draft, so might have been a win-win for us. Let's get on to your debut game. Is there anything from that week or game that a moment that sticks out of how you felt, or what it was like to ring your parents and tell them you're playing, or anything that stuck out to you?
I think the special moment was the jumper presentation before the game, and I was lucky enough to have all my family there and both my sisters as well. My sister's a model, so she's constantly overseas, and there's periods where I don't see her for a long time, so it was awesome to have her there throughout that whole experience, to just have my whole family, and to have my dad say some words and present me with that jumper was pretty special. He's been there for every part of my journey so far, and he's been a big part in my growth and development, so I think that was a pretty special moment that stood out for me.
So we're wrapped to be here, we want to do well, we're so proud of you, all my family, we're here to watch Nick. When you're out there tonight and you get the loud noise, we'll be broken apart, we'll make it close together, we're so proud.
What were some key learnings from your debut game?
I think the biggest thing that I had to learn was the adjustment of the speed of the game. You know, I was playing at local footy and then went into TAC Cup, where it was obviously a big step up, and then playing state league with Victoria Metro as a bottom major, that was like wow. And then you go into a whole nother level playing AFL, and just the speed at which the ball's moving at, how quick you have to make your decisions and adjust to that, was a whole nother level, and something that did take some adjusting to. It took a couple of weeks before I was actually really comfortable at all. So I think that was the biggest learning I took out of it.
Don't need you. Can do it myself. Can do it just like that. Land another bomb. Kick another goal. That's 2 for Nik Cox.
What a weapon at their disposal now, Essendon, to be able to deploy this young man, Cox, on the wing with his size, his skill.
You're a pretty trendy, cool sort of guy. House of Marley obviously supply us with our headphones, and is there any certain type of music you listen to pre-game or in the car or at home? Anything you can sort of elaborate on?
Yeah, it's a bit hard to nail it down to a certain genre or a type of music, but I've been heavily brainwashed by my father. A lot of old music. I've got a bit of a vinyl collection at home, some of Dad's old stuff, and then I've added to my own collection too. A lot of old works, David Bowie, Rolling Stones, Prince. Got a lot of albums in there that sort of some of the boys my age don't know too much about, but yeah, my dad's hammered it into me over the years. So I love my music. It's a big part of my life.
So you've got a pretty interesting profile. Obviously, getting called a unicorn. You can kick both feet. You're 198 centimetres, if I'm right. You can run. You run our 2K'er. So long term, where do you see yourself playing your best football?
Yeah, it's a question I've been asked a bit, and it's hard to answer because I don't know. I mean, throughout my whole juniors, I've been put in all different types of positions. I've played, inside midfield at times, and played ruck, centre half back, centre half forward. So I love the wing too. But I think wherever I can be most damaging with my weapons, whether that's settling into a more key position role or continuing to spend more time in the midfield, whatever's going to bring out the sort of all my strengths and make me have the biggest impact on the game that I possibly can, I'm happy to roll into that. So
casting back to your debut game, House of Marley, we're very grateful. They for each mark you take, they plant 5 trees. Do you have any idea how many marks you took in your debut game?
I'm going to go with, it's probably 2 or 3.
Which one, 2 or 3?
Go with 2.
Oh, you had 3, so how many trees did you plant?
15.
Yeah, well done, good maths.
There you go.
It's pretty cool.
15 trees, that's awesome.
All right, Bombers fans, thanks for tuning in. Obviously, we've got the great Nik Cox for the day. Thanks for your time, Coxie. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for having me, it's been awesome.